Good morning, collective. This is your daily check-in. So if you are checking it out anytime, you can always check in and see what's here for you. But more specifically, we are now going to dig into a new phase of manifestation. I've got a spell on you. First quarter moon phase. So now is the time. Do you have pen and paper? Do you have your original drawings? Do you have space in a journal to make new notes? Go and get them. And while you get them, I'm going to talk. So, we are moving on to not a controversial phase of the moon, but I will say a more challenging phase of the moon. However, that's okay, because we want to basically test the mettle of your manifestations. And this is a chance to say, this is my house. This is what I want. So instead of taking a step back, this is the phase where we want to take a step forward, right? Not back, forward. Not back, forward. So, everybody settled? Everybody got their stuff? Tea, water, whatever. Always good idea to drink. You may as well. You're sitting here and you're listening to a reading. You may as well get hydrated, right? Health. Because, yes, I am focusing to be a channel on those going on a healing journey. And healing can mean a lot of things. And today, it means manifestation, setting goals. Those goals can be health-related, relationship-related, career-related. You know, it just depends on what your life journey is. So, first quarter moon. I took some notes from good old Yasmin Boland's Moonology. So, this is the time to commit. 7 to 10 days after the new moon, which is where we are, what we need to focus on are the 3 C's, the challenges, creating confidence, and commitment. So committing to these. So you've lived with these, lived and breathed and committed to these manifestations in whatever way you have in the last 7 days, I believe, yes. And you're seeing how it feels. Are there ones that really hit home for you and have a lot of power? Are there ones that are like, I think I could refine this a little bit. I could shape it a little bit more. And this is great because you are really deciding how you want to better prepare to move forward. So this is a sit and rest phase. Sit, rest, and reconsider. Hey, that's the 3 R's. No, it's not. Sit, rest, reconsider, recalculate. Whatever you want. So, if there are things that you're not quite committed to, let them go. You know, so make a new list and figure out what it is you are committed to. And when you do, those are the ones to highlight in purple sparkly. You have to double commit to those manifestations. So we want to reframe those, reform them, rewrite them, and recommit to them. And go on with your manifestation using those new and improved, or new just subtly changed manifestation. And you have to double commit to the dreams that go along with these manifestations. So dream those things, daydream those things, think about them, look at those drawings, look at those lists, allow yourself to wander off into Never Never Land and just live in those dreams. Because the more you focus on them, the more, that's the law of attraction, right? And any challenges that are coming up, you could make a list of challenges too, and think, okay, so what is a strategic way that I'm going to deal with X, Y, and Z? And that's your focus, because it's still, it's not conflict. It's about looking at the challenges that have come up. And as we know, when challenges come up, as I was saying, I did a reading about threshold guardians, and that is when the hero of the journey, and if you want to know more about threshold guardians and how you deal with getting over that bump in the road, I will leave a link to that reading. But a threshold guardian is something that is there for a test, that is there to say, are you really committed? And you can look at that, as an obstacle, or you can look at that as a teacher, because obstacles are teachers. Because how do we learn? A lot of the time, nobody wants to voluntarily change course. We need to have that that rock in the stream that goes, nope, why don't you go this way? Why don't you go that way? I feel like Stevie Wonder, go this way, go that way. I love doing that. It feels so good for your neck too. It's a nice roll. Okay, so Stevie Wonder right now. Get all loosened and make a list of those rocks in the stream. Okay, now you have to go back to the lists that you made, and if there's anything, the ones that you're committing to, if there's anything that needs to be revisualized, changed a little bit, make a new drawing. If you want to, you are making a new list, so continue with that, and have the edited list in front of you. Now, to give you a bit of context as to why we are where we are, the way she describes it is the moon is just far enough away from the sun to clash with it, and it makes a hard angle, or they call it a square. And that's an awkward phase, and that's the explanation as to why issues will arise. And that is just a flag saying action has to be taken. So, on top of using Yasmin's good old Moonology deck, I thought to navigate these challenges, perhaps you might need a map. I am so excited because this is my new treasured deck. It has the key, it has the key lock, and the whole idea of keys opening locks, maps, things that help us on our journey, that aren't the journey themselves, but help us on our journey. And honestly, folks, these cards are little goblins. Threshold Guardian, right there. That's what I was talking about. He's saying, I'm going to trip you up, and you're going to say, yeah, whatever. I'm going to figure out how to deal with you. So I have been bonding with these cards, getting to know these cards. because they just feel so significant to me. And that's an intuition thing. I mean, when you feel when you feel drawn to something like that, there's a reason. That's an intuitive little bing, and that means you're sensitive. You're a sensitive soul. And when you allow your sensitivity to be there and you follow that nudge, that's when you find the breadcrumbs that are leading to the treasure. So which one do I start with? Moonology. It's like Divine wasn't sure there for a second. Okay, so I'm just going to do a shuffle, and I hope that you are all doing well and are encouraged on your manifestation journey. If you are here, thank you so much for joining me on this series that I am following, because it just means so much to me to have this structure and know that there are people out there that are interested in it, which is great, because I feel like I'm not alone in the void. I've got to be helping someone in some way. So I would like to ask the angels and archangels, the ascended masters, the guides, the goddesses, the gods, and divine to be with us today, to lend us their clarity, to give us clear messages that we can understand, and to give us guidance for the journeys that our collective is on. Thank you. Namaste. So, what do we have to work with, Spirit, on this first quarter? Hello. Oh, interesting. It's a goat. Oh my goodness. We literally just dropped 4 cards. That's hilarious. Okay. I'm sorry, just give me a second, I'll show you. So we always teased my dad because he was a Capricorn. And we said to him, "Oh, poor dad, your spirit animal is a goat. Your flower is moss. Boring." However, when I was on, we did a rehearsal dinner on a boat in Peterborough, and we were sailing down the river, and all of a sudden we looked over and there was like a herd of goats. I'm like, "Hi, Dad." Okay, so I tell stories. I'm a memoirist. What do you want? What do you want? All right, the first one is Yang Moon, which is strength. So, whatever is going on out there with you guys, I think you guys are rocking it, which is a great perspective to have. And cut your losses, which is exactly what we're talking about. If there's stuff that you thought was going to work that is not quite working, that's no loss, really. That's just making you more clear about the things that do fit. It's just a process of elimination. So, cut your losses. And enchanted moonlight. I think there's also some magic going on here. I think we have some people that are committed to this journey, so well done. You know, and it's hard when life is lifing. And the challenges hit. But it's okay, because we are doing this intentionally, and it is better to do something intentionally and slow, or than fast and fuck it up. So then, slow down. And in order to determine all of these things, yes, we do need to slow down. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to move on to my first reading with my, feels like heaven sent cards. These were on my Amazon wish list forever, and I finally decided I'm doing this oracle card thing. I'm going to get these cards. I'm going to bond with these cards. Oh, I just got chills from head to toe. You know, I know when my spine kind of goes, blah, 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 blah. It's like, Stevie Wonder. Here's a tip for sensitives. If you have a question about something, a good question is to meditate and ask the question, how does this feel in my body when this is present, when it is right, when it's intuitively guided, when my guides want me to pay attention? I did that when I was, again, I'm going to refer back to my threshold guardians, and when my totem, the cougar, who was a very strong, very intimidating, very fiercely loving totem, and I asked, what does it feel like when you are, hi. I didn't even have to ask. Yeah, so how I feel is I get this kind of ramrod straight feeling in my spine, which is like, stand up for yourself. Be proud. I think be relaxed too. You know, don't doubt yourself, you know. So those are the kind of things that the cougar brings to me, and animals. The reason that totems, you can work with totems, is that when they come to you in the form of animals, you look at the instincts of that animal, and it's it's more simplistic way to say, what is your message? What do you need? You know, and for me, it was, with the cougar, it was, you're going to do this, you're not going to do that. It was tough love, you know, which I appreciated very much. They're just comfortable for me. I know they're around whenever I need them. Oh, what do we have first? 21, Field of Dreams. That is adorable. We have a bunch of fairies sitting on eggs, waiting to hatch. So this is you, collective. Take a look. Take a look in the mirror. You are a bunch of sensitive, magical beings that are gathering, that are creating collective intention, that are creating collective healing and manifestations. And you are waiting for those miracles, those dreams to hatch. Oh, whoops! Butterfingers. Okay. Oh. Really? That was coming out before. Okay, what was he? Oh. Wizard of Aware. Oh, I love spirals. Wizard of Awareness. Interesting. I mean, obviously, that's sacredness, that's commitment, that's, you know, following a light in the darkness there. That kind of does feel like it sits well under Cut Your Losses, like that goat, the goat and the old man. Sorry, Dad. I know he wasn't very old when he passed away. He was only 52, but he's my dad, so I can still say, oh man, you goat. So this is the goat, but the goat does have something to tell us. So, my mom is killing herself now. Blame your father. And I always say, you can't blame him. He's dead. That's not fair. You can make fun of him. But you can't blame him. Okay, that's a lot. So, oh my goodness. All right, I'm just going to take the first one, and it's mountain. And that definitely tracks because, let's see, cut your losses. Okay, you know what? This is better. This is better confirmation. Something gets in the way. This is the threshold guardian, right? And you've got to cut your losses, and you've got to deal with the challenge. And that's going to let things fall away. And I think then Enchanted goes well under Wizard of Awareness. So we're going to dive into this one for sure. And just let me look at our last card. We're getting into some deep, cool stuff. So, whoops! Oh, I love this card. And this goes perfectly under, slow down, heal the ouch. It's cute. A fox has been one of my totems. If I was over there, I would show you the. So, I keep going back to the. Now I'm lost for words. I keep going back to the threshold guardians and the totems. I was talking about ways, and I think this is a really strong message that's coming through. Someone really needs to connect with totems, because that is a way that's going to make sense. And there are a couple different ways that I have kind of tried to see from go into the totem and see from the perspective of that totem. So the way that I've done that is I've explored a relationship with my totems through poetry, but I've also started to do that with art and just connecting with the essence of it. And this is the way I feel about my fox. He's kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's a little mischief. He's very playful. And whenever he's around, it is kind of, have you danced lately? Have you moved your body? Have you explored your sensuality? Like, those are the kind of things that go, those are the kind of messages that can come through via using totems. And they're a nice soft entry into exploring spirituality because they're more familiar to somebody who is kind of new to this. And then, of course, it's the fox that has the ouch. So maybe you need to heal that side of your body. I say body. Heal that side of yourself. Have you danced? Have you enjoyed your body? Is there something that doesn't feel right about your body that you need to put right? Put your feelings first. Is there something you need to do to make yourself feel safe? Is there someone you need to ask for help? Right? A masked individual could be it's a doctor. And, I love alternative medicine. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm an aromatherapist. I was a reflexologist for many, many years. I love alternative health therapies, but do not miss those appointments with your doctor. And do not stop searching for a doctor that listens to you and that understands you and knows that, it's your body and it's your choice for these things, but will give you all the options. So, slow it down, heal the ouch. So this is a nice balance. You're needing to heal the ouch, but you're also needing to deal with the challenges. So yeah, this is a bit of a challenging read. So I think we know what Field of Dreams is. I want to go right into Mountain. Whoops, wrong one. Woo-hoo. Kelly, wake up. Put the lime in the coconut. I was just watching Practical Magic. Get together, put the lime in the coconut, then you feel better. Put the lime in the coconut. You have the capacity to flow around any obstacle. This is the time to adapt. So, very specific message. This very austere, a little nervy. Just like the cougar. And I told this story before in the other reading, is when my cougar approached me. I had a ginger cat, and I was used to my ginger cat coming right into my face and going and marking me with his cheeks. And he did the same thing, and I was like, oh, you're not my cat. I knew exactly who he was because I was seeing him in front of my face. But he did the same thing. I'm like, oh, but I love you. And at one point, I must have been facing something. I visualized him, and normally it would be them saying, what are you going to do? But I was at a crossroads, and he literally showed me. He went over, sat on one side of the fork, and was like, no. I'm like, okay, there's not a lot of mystery in that directive. And just like the cougar saying, don't go that way. See that scary looking door? That is not a divine doorway. You are a river. Just go around. It's not worth it. It's like bullies. If you walk away and you don't give them the reaction they want, what are they going to do? You know? So, yeah, don't worry about it. There are challenges ahead. There are mountains. You're not being asked to climb the mountain. You're being asked to flow around the mountain. So I think that means, yeah, you just adapt. You don't have to, scrap everything and go back to the drawing board. No. You're just saying, oh, well, instead of going this way, we're going to do this differently. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. Sometimes you'll come across whatever appears to be an insurmountable obstacle, like a huge mountain that separates you from your success. You might think that climbing it or chiseling away at it is the answer. Ooh, but why take such a treacherous, tedious approach? Be like the rivers that flow around mountains naturally. You'll move past this obstacle relatively quickly if you choose the easy way around. So it's like when you learn to drive, the path of least resistance. This is the time to adapt to your circumstances. If you do decide to climb, remember to take one step at a time, opting for the right next action. Okay, the choice is yours. And now we're going to go back because the Wizard of Awareness... Oh, he is slowing down. He's vibing with this card. I mean, I think they all vibe together. But, enchanted and heal the ouch would be a little magical healing from a place you don't expect, perhaps. And as I am a Reiki master and I do distance treatments, if there is someone out there who does want more one-on-one specific help with your ailments, if you're interested in energy work, I'm here. This is what I do. So if you need some support, let me support you. Wizard of Awareness. Let's see. Yeah, he's observing silently. So mindfulness is about being observant and remaining neutral. Oh, the key phrase under this was your soul knows best. Be still and observe. Okay, this applies to the environment within you too. If you struggle inside yourself, stepping into an observer position gives you a new, powerful perspective that neutralizes any discomfort or overexcitement. You have the capacity to see things clearly now, unencumbered by opinion or desire. Wearing the world as a loose garment requires you to adopt a sense of nothing that happens to you is personal. That was like a rock in a river. Wearing the world as a loose garment requires you to adapt to the sense that nothing that happens to you is personal. I would suggest writing that down, because that would be a tough one to follow. But if you can, oh boy. And especially, I always tend to speak to my neurodivergent out there. And I have found dealing with ADHD, the worst symptom is rejection sensitivity. And I'm learning much more about it. But the thing is, when you are triggered by something, whether it is a rejection story, like something you're telling yourself, or whether it is actual real rejection, it feels exactly the same in your body. Your body can't tell the difference. So when that happens, it doesn't matter which it is. All that matters is that you find a way to soothe yourself, to give yourself comfort, until you're able to emotionally regulate. And emotionally regulating is the challenge. So what is it that you need to avoid? What are the things that you need to do to make yourself feel safe again, to give yourself comfort? And once you are regulated, because nothing can happen until you have the healing, then you can decide whether this rejection is real or not and what you want to do with it. And I will put a link to the amazing webinar that I watched on rejection sensitivity, if that's what you're dealing with, because man, that's a doozy. But you can deal with it if you take a step back, see yourself from a different perspective, emotionally regulate. It will pass. It will pass, because emotions, they don't last forever. They're fluid. They're like a river that is going to move around a rock. And that was another way that I saw someone describe a good way to deal with anxiety was to say, or any emotion really, is that I'm going to take that emotion and I'm going to put it over there, label it if you want, and I see it as a cloud, and I let myself observe and watch it pass. And the farther away it gets from me, the more I feel like I'm giving myself permission to let it go, if that makes sense. I think it makes sense to me, because that works for me. So try it out, or do an anxiety or overstimulated meditation, something for overstimulation, and let yourself come down. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wow. You struggle with yourself. Your new power perspective and neutral. Okay. Whew. That blew me away. Power neutralizes. Okay. If you struggle inside yourself, stepping into an observer position gives you a new powerful perspective that neutralizes any discomfort or overexcitement. ADHD. You have the capacity to see things clearly now, unencumbered by opinion or desire. I think I missed that before. It's the whole idea that it neutralizes. Wearing the world like a loose garment requires you to adopt a sense that nothing that happens to you is personal. People come and go. Experiences evolve from one state to another in a continual shifting and change, no matter how much you want to stay the same. The wizard of awareness asks you to give up your need to define or limit what you're experiencing now. It's all good. Let it be. And watch the miracle unfold without any direct influence from you. This is interesting. I mean, at the beginning of the reading, I was all like, okay, are you ready for battle? Put on your armor. And it's not, it surprised me. It's not that. We're waiting for these dreams to hatch. And there are going to be mountains or rocks in the way, but keep your cool, buddy, and flow like a river around it. It's the challenges are going to come up, but don't let them spook you. They're natural, they're normal, and when you are flowing around it instead of having to go through it, I bet you that's going to feel really good, because you are in a space where you are observing and deciding what works. And you are in a space where you need to slow down and heal. And you're slowing down and you are amending your list. You're amending your dreams. Oh, I love this deck so much. It's giving me some pretty wonderful insights. So this feels really good, but the question is, does this feel complete? What are we at? We're at about a little over half an hour. I think these ones just jumped out at me. I looked over at my collection of cards and they're like, we're here. I'm just going to do a little shuffle here, and I'm going to ask what my collective can expect in the coming days. Say like 3 to 7 days. This is the Soul's Journey deck by James Van Praagh. One more shuffle? Okay. Yeah, it felt like it needed a bookend. And it's purple. If you haven't guessed already, purple's kind of my color. Like a song's coming through. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over the mountain. The bear went over a mountain to see what he could see. And all that he could see, and all that he could see, is he should have gone down the river. He should have gone down the river. He should have gone down the river instead of going over the mountain. I don't know. All right, enough foolishness now. What can we expect? Remember some joy. All right. Oh. All right, we have 2. Oh, we have 3. And we have 4. that too much to ask? Oh, goodness. Okay. So we have... All right. Interesting. All right. We have the death card. Now, in terms of, I mean, yes, this could mean that someone is sustaining a loss out there, and if that is true, my heart goes out to you because I know exactly how that feels. We're with you. And I'm only taking the 4 cards, but this is, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. So that could mean that, but we already know that something is changing. There's going to be endings that come up because there are new beginnings coming. So we don't need to worry, right? So it was like, that was kind of like a dual reading. So the first one, courage. Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. You don't frighten me, I'm going around. So courage, confidence. And then we have blame. That could be something else that, you know, when you're faced with a challenge, if you do take it personally, you might be tempted to do some blaming, or you might be doing some work, hopefully, to resolve that blame, because that's the way to work with that particular challenge. I accept responsibility for my well-being. So if you are like the wizard here, accept that nothing that happens to you is personal. It may feel personal. If you can shift that and say, be able to find forgiveness, that is better than blaming and being anger. And I like the analogy of, you know, blaming someone and being angry at someone is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It doesn't do you any good. It sits in there and it's toxic. So you actually giving away the energy that it takes, and it takes a lot of energy to blame someone, to hate someone, you give that energy back to yourself. You're giving yourself a gift when you say, you know what, I'm done fretting about you and thinking about you and letting you live in my head rent-free. No. That's the little adaptation that you're going to make, and that's how you go around that mountain, with discipline. So even though you're slowing down and it looks like you're not doing anything, the not doing anything and being observant requires discipline. Because we're busy people. We want to get up and do. We can't sit still, especially if you have ADHD, you know? It's like, what am I doing next? I want to go somewhere, even if I don't know where I'm going or what I'm going to do. I just need to move. Well, you can move, but you have to show discipline in remembering that you are refining this, that you're not climbing a mountain, you're going around it. So you exert a little bit of energy to paddle around the mountain and not climb over it. So I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Discipline. And then we have worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. That's like blaming or anger. If you're putting a whole bunch of energy into something that you're afraid is going to happen, you're siphoning energy away from the energy you're trying to accumulate and use to manifest and make your dreams happen and be disciplined and all those kind of things. So, well, that felt like a magical reading, and I will put links to Moonology, to my totem reading, and tomorrow we are going to move on. So today is the day to do this, because we're here for the first quarter, and then after today it starts sliding into another phase, and it slides into waxing gibbous. So today you are preparing to adapt. So my suggestion to you is to focus on asking for help, to focus on modifying your perspective in any way you need to. Take the day to really be with yourself and your intuition, and stay the course. From these cards, it sounds like you guys are doing well. So I'm so happy to be here. If anything has resonated with you, please drop a comment. It would be great to know what resonated with you and why. And if something really did resonate with you, don't feel shy. I would really love to start doing personal reading. So if you would like a personal reading on moon manifestation, or relationships, or health, or an energy check-in, my information is below underneath my reading on YouTube. And until then, I wish you luck and love and healing and confidence. And just remember, you got this. We're doing this together. All right? Take care, my loves, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.